Hello students, this is Rias Global Institute. Welcome to our free online classes. In today's video, I am going to teach you about speaking module for IELTS examination. But before that, if you have not subscribed our channel yet, please press subscribe button, and if you want to get updates from our channel, press bell icon too. So students, this is basically Cambridge 11 book and test number 1 I am going to teach you here. So we are going to start with what kind of questions can be asked in your speaking module, and I am going to tell you simultaneously. I am going to write down as well so that you get to know that how you can answer these questions. Okay, so starting from the part 1. So here in this part 1 you are going to be asked some introductory questions that are related to your home, work, studies and other familiar topics. Okay, so basic purpose of the examiner here in this first part is to make you people comfortable. So he is going to ask you some basic questions, something that are related to your life. Okay, so now here I am going to tell you that how you can answer those questions carefully without hesitating or without getting stuck in between. So one thing while answering these questions you have to keep in your mind, that is, you have to be short enough. I mean, you do not need to elaborate these things unnecessarily. Okay, so you have to answer these questions in 2 to 3 lines. That is sufficient for introductory questions. Okay, so when you are asked the follow-up questions, then you need to elaborate your answer. No doubt that question needs elaboration, but in this question you are going to be short enough and your answer is going to lie between 2 to 3 lines. Okay, so now we are starting this and I will tell you that how you can answer these questions. So for example, examiner took a topic that is food and cooking. Okay, so the first question that examiner is going to ask you or could ask you can be, what sort of food do you like eating most? Okay, so you have to be short enough as well as you have to answer the question that is being asked to you. I mean, students keep on wandering here and there. They do not talk about the topic. So it is important to talk about the topic first and then you keep on elaborating that thing. Okay, so if the examiner asks you, what sort of food do you like eating most? So you can answer as, I belong to state Punjab. I like eating Punjabi food the most. Maybe it is my taste buds that admire my local food. Okay, so this answer is short enough. This lies between 2 to 3 lines, plus this covers this question why. Okay, so if the examiner have the possibility of asking why question, then he can ask that again too, but you have given your answer completely here. Okay, so you have mentioned here completely that I like this food. Why I like this food? Maybe my taste buds admire them the most. That is why I like that food. Okay, so this is how you can answer the question. Okay, so moving to the next question. Who normally does cooking in your home? Okay, so you can answer here, my mom usually prepare food for all my family members. Okay, so if the examiner asks you why, so you can answer here, because my mother is a housewife and I am a student. In addition to this, my father is a shopkeeper. So my mother cooks food for us. Okay, so you can answer here that my mother is a housewife, I am a student, and my father is a shopkeeper. So my mother cooks food for us. Okay, so moving to the next question. Do you watch cookery programs on TV? Why and why not? So you can answer here. You can use expression here as well. So you can say, to be honest, I am not very much fond of cooking things, so I do not watch cookery programs. Okay, so here you answered the question why as well, that you are not very much fond of cooking things. Okay, so this is how you made examiner clear your point of view. So moving to the next question. What is the next question here? In general, do you prefer eating out or eating at home? Well, I prefer eating at my home because I feel that homemade food is more healthy and clean than that of outside food. Okay, so here you answered your question appropriately, that I prefer eating at my home because I feel that homemade food is more healthy and clean than that of outside food. Okay, so in this way you have to answer your introductory questions. You have to be short enough, you have to answer it in 2 to 3 lines, not more than that. Okay, you need elaboration only in follow-ups, that I will tell you later on. So now we are going to move towards the part 2, that is our cue card part. So our part 2 includes cue card. So what is a cue card? You will have a topic and you have 2 minutes to talk about that. Okay, so in that topic you will be given some points as well that you have to include in your topic, plus you will be given a minute to think about this question, this topic. Okay, so one thing you have to keep in your mind, that this topic is never out of your range. I mean, this is a very common topic and this is something you can think of. I mean, just have a look on this topic. They are asking, describe a house or apartment that someone you know lives in. Okay, so you have to basically talk about a house or apartment that you know and someone lives in that apartment. Okay, and there are some questions that we have to include. These are: whose house or apartment this is, where the house apartment is, what it looks like inside, and explain what you like or dislike about this person's house or apartment. Okay, so I have already written this cue card for you, so now I am going to read that cue card for you and you will get to know how you can answer this cue card. Okay, so in that cue card I have included all the possible vocabulary that one can use. Okay, so here is the cue card in front of you. So here is the part 2 that is written in front of you. I am going to read this. If you want to have a look simultaneously, then you can have. Okay, I have seen many apartments and houses in my life, but here I would like to speak about my friend's apartment. My friend lives in a city named Chandigarh, which is basically a union territory in my country, India. She has a 5 BHK apartment in that beautiful city, and her apartment is also made in an adorable way. Okay, I remember I went there 2 years back when it was her birthday party, and she has invited all of her friends to celebrate there. Her home has a magnificent garden at the entrance itself, and apart from this, her house has a grandeur interior too that actually left me spellbound when I saw that. The intriguing fact is that her apartment has been made in a symmetric way. It includes all the possible requirements that one may need. From the top of the apartment, one can see lake view too. That actually adds to the beauty of that house. I mean, it is located in tranquil place that actually gives peace of mind and a sensation of contentment over there. These are the reasons why I like her apartment the most. And if I would ever get a chance to build my own house, then considering her apartment ideal, I will make my house similar to that of her. Okay, so now I am going to tell you the vocabulary words that I have used here, plus I am going to tell the meanings of that words too. Okay, so here I have used the word magnificent. Okay, which actually means something that is really beautiful, and in Hindi magnificent means shandar. Okay, similarly grandeur means the same, that of magnificent. I just used a synonym of this word. Okay, in a similar way, spellbound means something that has left completely, something that cannot be unspoken is known as spellbound. Okay, so what is the meaning of intriguing here? This means fascinating. Okay, and the other words that are used here are tranquil. Tranquil means something that is free of turmoil. Okay, something that is peaceful. Okay, so I have used word tranquil here as well. Okay, then I have used the word contentment over here. Contentment means satisfaction. Okay, so in this way you can add various vocabulary words in your speaking, and the examiner would be impressed if you use such vocabulary words, but these should be used carefully so that they may not look as if you have crammed something. Okay, use it in a way that they are your words and you can use it comfortably. Okay, so now we are moving towards the part 3 of speaking, that is discussion topics. So in this topic the examiner can ask you questions from any of the topic, maybe from your cue card that you have answered before as well. Okay, so maybe he can use some other topic too, or something that is related to your cue card. Okay, so for example, two topics are given here. Number one is different types of home. Okay, so example questions can be, what kind of home are most popular in your country? Why is this? Okay, so you can say that in my country, people prefer large houses than that of apartments. Okay, because they feel more comfortable living in their own house rather than that of living in an apartment. Okay, so sometimes examiner may ask you why they prefer living in the house rather than that of apartment. Then you can answer that they are more comfortable living in their house rather than that of living in the apartment. Okay, so now moving on to the next question that can be asked to you. This is, what do you think are the advantages of living in a house rather than an apartment? Okay, so you can write here down that advantages may include privacy, and lesser restrictions. Okay, so then you can explain this thing that, suppose for example that if a person lives in a house, then the amount of privacy is always greater than that of living in an apartment. I mean, when a person lives in an apartment, he lives in a building basically, and there are neighbors below our apartment as well as above our apartment, so that sometimes may create restrictions. So I feel that while living in our house, it is better to be in a house because it creates a lot of privacy, as well as restrictions imposed are quite less than that of apartment. Okay, so now we are moving towards the next question. So what is our next question? Do you think that everyone would like to live in a larger home? Why is that? Okay, so you can answer here, I don't feel so. It is just a matter of satisfaction. Okay, some people are even satisfied in small home. Some people are even satisfied in small home, but some are even not when they get bigger and bigger things. Okay, so in this way you can answer your question. Okay, so moving on, For example, there is another question, that is how easy it is to find a place to live in your country. So you can answer here that with the growing population, it has definitely become hard to find a genuine place to live. But if a person has enough investment or funding, then he can find a suitable place. Okay, so in this way you can answer your question here. Okay, so now moving on to the next question, which is, do you think it's better to rent or to buy a place to live in? Why? I feel that it is better to live in one's own house, as it actually create a feeling of security, plus the restrictions imposed are far more less than that in the apartment. Okay, moving on to the next question, which is, do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents? Why is that? I don't think so. Age is just a number, and that has nothing to do with living along with parents or away from them. One should always respect one's parents, as they have always sacrificed for their children. Okay, so this is how you can answer the given questions. Okay, so basic thing that you have to keep in your mind while answering your question is that you should not get stuck in between, plus you should give the answer exactly what is being asked to you. Okay, Okay students, so this is end of today's lesson. I will see you in the next lesson. Till then, stay tuned to our channel, and if you liked our video, please press like button too. Thank you so much.